Hello and welcome to this mini tutorial where we're going to break down and then build back up the pronunciation of the word definitely in English. So here we've got the script from the dictionary, and the first thing to point out is that blue mark top left tells us that the first syllable of this word is the stressed syllable, so the strong one. And then we've got those dots there that break the word into syllables. So you can see we've got definitely 4 syllables, and the strong one is def. Okay, so that's our first observation about this word. So focusing on syllable 1, hopefully this one should be fairly straightforward. We start with the voiced d. We've got a short e and then a f. So we need a bit of air hissing out. So putting that together, repeat after me, deaf, deaf. Syllable 2, very short, I, just a short I. Now, towards the end of the video, when we look at the word in its orthographic script, we're going to have a think about some common mistakes that you might make or you might hear people make. And the vowels are going to be an important thing that we'll talk about. So just hold in your mind now that this is a short I. So def. Syllable 3, nut. And hopefully you're familiar with this weak schwa vowel. So we begin with the nasal n, and then we've got an and a t, nut. So repeat after me, nut. And finishing off with a nice short li. Repeat after me, li. Now, to make that l nice and clear, what you want to make sure you're doing is that your tongue is just beginning up behind the top teeth and then kind of flicking forward a little bit, l. If you start your tongue in the same position behind the top teeth but then curl it backwards, you risk making the r sound instead. So you want to make sure you're saying li and not re. And if you couldn't hear any difference between those two things that I just said, please don't worry. That's common for speakers of a whole host of languages. If you find problems between the l and the r in English, if you check out the notes below, I'll put some links into videos that will help you to work on that. So don't worry. So putting it all back together then, remember we're stressing syllable 1. Repeat after me, nice and loud, definitely. Again, definitely. So let's talk about mistakes then. This is the word as you would write it. And earlier I mentioned that the vowels were something we would talk about. The reason for that is that in this word, potentially, you might be tricked into mispronouncing parts of this word by other words that you know. So, for example, we have a prefix in English where we put D in front of a word. For example, de-ice means to remove ice from something. So sometimes you'll see de at the beginning of a word and you'll pronounce it e, d-e. But in this word, it's an e, deaf. So be careful with that one. The second vowel also might surprise you because you might be familiar with words that are very similar, such as the word finite or the word finance, where you're expecting to pronounce this as an I, finance, finite. But in this word, it's a fin, not an I, an I. So fi. It's that little I that we spoke about. So don't let that one trick you. So definitely. So hopefully that will stay in your mind now you've had a chance to practice it a few times. Let's do it one more time. Repeat after me nice and loud. Careful with those vowels. Definitely. I hope that you will definitely remember that now. So to support the channel, go ahead and hit like, subscribe if you haven't already. Leave me a comment if you've got any words that you would like me to cover in this series. Go ahead and share and I will do my best to include them. And there's the link to the homepage in case you haven't already checked it out. Thanks for watching and have a lovely day.